Hey. How y'all feeling? Hope you are feeling good. Hope that you are. I'm here. I'm here with you guys. Today is Wednesday. It is Wellness Wednesday. We want to do something that is going to help us to be better. And if you saw the topic of the conversation today, it is learn to break up. You hear that? Learn to break up. Can we do that? Can we do that? Now, if you don't have to, I know you don't want to. No one necessarily wants to enter any type of relationship with the thought of breaking up. But let me tell you something. You need to learn that. That's a skill that you need to learn. Why? It's simple. You don't want to be that bitter person. And why would you want to be that person? Why? I want you to ask yourself that. Why? If you're out here being that person, if you're that person who is vengeful, tell you something. That boomerang is in flight and it's going to come right back to you. You know that. So you need to check your petty, check your vengeful heart. Because really, you don't have to be that way. You don't. If you're out here petty, if you're out here being vengeful, you've got some deeper wounds inside of you that you need to check. You need to check yourself and you need to get that checked out. Because we can all be adults out here. If it's not working, it's not working. And you may be a little hurt. No one is saying that you're not affected by it, but you can move forward. You can move forward and you can begin to heal. Because there's something greater for you when you're healed and when you're ready to love. You have to do that work on yourself and you have to believe that. Now, listen, I'm no relationship coach. I'm no relationship advisor, psychologist. I'm not any of those things. I'm not any of those professional things or in that realm in terms of profession, but I am a person who's worked on myself and I continue to work on myself. I've lived and I've seen many relationship dynamics out here in these streets. I've seen it. And I happen to be a person that a lot of people tend to talk to about issues. A lot of my friends talk to me about issues. And so I've got a lot of experiences. I've heard a lot of experiences because I listen and I listen to life. So it's of my opinion that as much as we need to learn to love, and we do, we need to learn to break up. And that's with lovers, friends, and sometimes family. It's like that. So before we get deep or a whole lot deeper into this conversation, what I want us to do is chime on in. Let me know where you're from. I see we got Miss Tori here. She is saying, "What's up, Miss T? How you doing, Tori?" She's in here from D-Town. D-Town is in the building. But y'all know what we got to do. And I do it every time we start this thing. We got to do a little breath work because we are working on ourselves. We're working to be better. We want to be better. Yeah, ready for it? Let's do some breath work. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a... What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Didn't that feel great? And go ahead and get that little stretch in too. Maybe you need to stretch a little bit. Just put your hands out and stretch up. Go ahead and feel great. Go ahead and feel wonderful. Hey. What's happening, all my good people? I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Noontime My Time Podcast. This is episode 91. Yes, it is. It's 91. And I see Keep the Faithful Tori here. She's like, whoop, whoop. Episode 91. Yeah, we're in here. And you're here with me. I'm your host, MsTonya. Today, we're going to dive into a topic of respectful breakups. Can you do that? Can we learn to do that? Can we learn to break up? It's a challenging journey, but by sharing tips and engaging with you, all of my wonderful listeners, because, we're trying to be better, we can navigate this process with compassion and dignity. As always, feel free to share your thoughts and your experiences in the chat. But I want us to dive into this thing because let's think about it. Let's be adults here. Every relationship may not work out. You date and you get to know each other, and you may find that the relationship will not serve you or the other person for that matter, or for your best or their best life interests. And you need to be okay with that. There are reasons for breakup, good reasons. And you must be honest with yourself. When you find yourself losing yourself, that's not a good thing. And you need to break up. That's just one reason and one thing to look at. I think it's important for us to reflect on ourselves. Think about what are some good tips, or what could we use? What can we think about when it's time to make that transition? How can we make that transition smooth? Or if anything, because I'm kind of fumbling with the right word to use for that. Like, how do you make a breakup smooth? I think really what we could concentrate on is how we can make that respectable, I guess. Because I know we can do that. But the thing is, we have to be willing to do that. I don't know if any of you out here can think about some of your past breakups, and if you're willing to look at them and look at how they shape your beliefs, how they approach the way that you end relationships. Think about that. Think about that just a little bit, right? How have past relationships and some of your beliefs shape how you approach ending relationships? But what I'm thinking about in terms of some things that we can do, some things that we can think about when it's time to do that breakup thing and we know that we're there. Number one, you got to choose the right time and you got to choose the right place. I feel like you need to find a private and comfortable place where you can be open and you can be honest and you can have that honest conversation. Because that's what you're going to have to do. You have to be honest and you have to be clearly communicating your true feelings. And the reasons for the breakup are going to be important. And you've got to be able to do that without placing blame. You got to be able to avoid blaming, and you got to be able to avoid insult, because that's not necessary. It isn't. Maintain some respect, maintain some dignity. You want to treat your partner with kindness and respect throughout the whole process. Avoid public humiliation or spreading gossip. Is that necessary? Because if this is a person that you obviously chose to be in a relationship with, number one, you made that decision. So honor that. Honor that. You made that decision. So to go back and try to humiliate this person or gossip about this person, that's saying a whole lot about yourself. You know? I see we got Keep the Faith with Tori here. She says, the breakup for me was a blessing. And she's saying something that is, a lot of people will find that to be true. There are those breakups that are that for you, but you have to be honest enough with yourself to realize that, and you have to process the entire experience before you recognize the blessing, because sometimes the person is just not right for us, and sometimes we're not right for the person. I think we equally need to be able to look at whether a person is right for us as us not being right for that person. If you know that you're not the right person for someone, I think you should also evaluate that, and you should be willing to peacefully leave that relationship. Allow that person to go on with their life and allow them to be able to find what it is that they need for themselves as well. And then you've got to allow some space and time. You got to give both yourself and your partner time to process the breakup. Avoid jumping into like rebound relationships or remaining constant contact. You don't have to prove that you can be friends with this person after this breakup. You've got to allow yourself some time to heal. You do. You may be able to be friends afterwards. You can decide that, but I don't think that should be a thing that you should be so much in a hurry to jump into. Allow that time. Respect yourself and your partner time to process. You got to process this. And be mindful of the things that you are doing and that you are saying on social media. And you do it. A lot of people are guilty, but let's be mindful of that. Let's grow up. You're not a kid. You're not a teenager. So refrain from posting negative and hurtful content about your ex. Why are you doing that? Do you know how that makes you look? If you cannot refrain from doing that, I think you need to consider taking a break from social media so that you can focus on healing. Maybe do that. I think that's important. I see we got Gatekeeper McQueen here, says 100%. How you doing? Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here in the conversation. We're talking about learning to break up. I want you to take a moment to reflect, and maybe you guys start putting in the comments. I want you to think about a past breakup and let us know how your beliefs or some of the experiences from those breakups, how has that shaped you in your approach to ending relationships? And let me ask this too, because this is important for us. And that's probably one of the things that a lot of people may not be good at. And you might not know it until you're ready to have difficult conversations. Breakup is really a part of having a difficult conversation. So you got to ask yourself this: am I able to communicate my feelings and my needs effectively during a breakup, while also listening to my partner's perspective? Can you do that? Are you able to communicate your feelings and needs during this difficult conversation? communicating your feelings and needs, but you're also listening to your partner's perspective. Can you guys do that? It's not easy. See, this is some real adulting here. We're being big boys and girls. You're a big girl and a big boy now. You don't have to be vengeful. You need to be mindful. And no one's saying that you're not hurt. I'm not saying that. The ending of relationships are difficult. We are going to feel a type of way. We do have emotions. And maybe you need to seek some support. Maybe there are people that you might need to lean on. Maybe you need to lean on a trusted friend, a family member, or I don't know, you may need to get a therapist. But you might need some emotional support during these challenging times. If you need that, get that. Whatever it takes for you to not be vengeful, because you don't have to break a person because you're breaking up. I never understood that. I've seen it done. And then I've seen people who understand, people who are willing to move forward in their lives and to do things in a more peaceful way, because life is a blessing. Life should be about your faith, your peace, your family, your friends. You're happy. You did? I see Keep the Faith with Tori here. She says, I'm very careful with all relationships now. Family, friendships, and relationships. Yes, I'm able to communicate my needs and listen to their needs as well. That's great, and that's very important. That's the least that we could do. That's the least that you could do for yourself. Because once again, as it relates to those personal and romantic relationships, these are choices that you made. These are the partnerships that you went into, right? You weren't forced into them. So when you're tearing that person down, that says a whole lot about you. Think about that. And in ending relationships, you just gotta be able to reflect and learn. You can use that breakup as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. You can learn from the experience, learn how to improve your future relationships, because you learn how to communicate better. You learn what it is that you want, because obviously, whatever has caused this breakup, you've looked at yourself and you said, okay, well, this is not quite fulfilling my needs. So that means you know what your needs are. And so when moving forward, you're supposed to make better decisions. But if you're going to be out here making vengeful decisions, if you're out here breaking up and trying to break a person, like I said, that boomerang is already in flight. And it's going to come right back around to you. So please be careful. Please be mindful. Remember, every breakup is unique. I mean, I know that, but these are just a couple things that I can think about that people can apply to this situation. It's important to consider the individual dynamics and needs of both parties involved. This is a breakup, so you can't just be thinking about yourself. Can't do that. Can't just think about yourself. As he Keep the Faith with Tori here, she says, romantic relationships, those especially I see so differently. How so? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Those I see so differently. Because, we have so many different relationships, like our families and friendships, I know. And those are difficult relationships when we're not seeing eye to eye, when just being in each other's lives is just not going to work for us, and we have to find a way to navigate a breakup of sorts, and I'm doing air quotes in those type of relationships. But I see you here, Tori, you say romantic relationships, those I see so differently. Let me know what you're talking about here. Let me know. But relationships basically teach us a lot about ourselves. They really do. So they do allow us that self-reflection. You can have self-reflection without being selfish, because self-reflection plays a crucial role in a respectful breakup. And it does that in several ways, because you have to understand your personal contributions. If you really take the time to look at yourself, you take the time to self-reflect, it's going to allow you to honestly assess your own role in the relationship and acknowledge any mistakes or shortcomings that involve you directly. You got to recognize your part in the breakup. That's going to help you avoid blaming your partner. And it also promotes a more empathetic and an understanding approach to this thing, because we're trying to be respectful. We're trying to make this smooth. I'm saying smooth. We want to have a smooth breakup. Might sound a little off to say that, but we're being respectful. We want to move on. And then you got to be able to identify your patterns and identify your triggers. Reflecting on past relationships and breakups can help you identify reoccurring patterns and triggers that contribute to the current situation that you might be in. You might be in that, you're making those same mistakes over and over. You need to be aware of that. This awareness, it enables you to work on your personal growth and break those cycles, because they're harmful. Break those harmful cycles in your future relationships. I see Tori here. She says, I look very deeply into those now. I see right away now when a person does not have my best interests at heart and when there is no genuineness. I got you. You got to pay attention to those things. And it takes time. I don't know necessarily that there's some things that kind of, they pop out fairly quickly, but sometimes they don't. Because oftentimes you will run into people who are kind of, I want to say in their best behavior, but I don't know necessarily that is what I really need to say, but they are representing themselves in a way that is to, well, put it like this. They've got their best representative forward. And some people can do that for a very long time. And so you may not find certain things out for a while. And that is okay too. But when you feel and when you know that this is not for me, I am beginning to lose myself. This is not the type of conversations that I like to have. I shouldn't be feeling this way. A person shouldn't be saying these particular things to me. Their actions are not showing me what I need. You need to know that you need to consider having that difficult conversation, and you may need to consider walking away. But you can do that like an adult. You can do that respectfully. Do some self-reflection. But you might have to, you've got to be willing to take some responsibility. Taking responsibility for personal growth. You got to be able to do that. Self-reflection helps you to take ownership of your own emotions, your own behaviors. And personal growth, it enables you to identify areas of improvement that make a positive change, that are ultimately benefiting your future relationships. Because you don't want to be the same person in your next relationship. You do want to be better. You absolutely do. I see Keep the Faith Tori said, yes, I lost myself. Many people are going to be able to share that story. There are some people who will go into a relationship and it can be a lasting relationship, but a majority of the time, most of us don't meet that person that we're with forever that first time. It doesn't even have to be the second or third time. It doesn't have to be. We grow and change and seasons change. So look at life like that as well. But take your responsibility. And you've also got to be able to promote the proper closure and healing. So by reflecting on the relationship, its dynamics, its ending, you can gain a sense of closure. If you understand the reasons for the breakup and you're accepting them, that's going to help you in the healing process, allowing both of the parties to move forward with a greater clarity and a peace of mind. These are the things that you do when you learn how to break up, when you're out here adulting, when you're being respectful to yourself and to your partner that you chose to be in a relationship with. That's not hard to do, guys. It really isn't. It's Wellness Wednesday, and we want to be well. And within our wellness, sometimes we've got to know that there are relationships that we have to end. We've got to have those large conversations, the bigger conversations, the difficult conversations. And you can do that. You can do it. You just got to choose the right time and place. It's not everybody's business, so please be private, but make sure it's private, it's comfortable, and that you're really ready to be open and honest. You got to be open and honest because you want to be clear. You want to clearly communicate your feelings and your reasons for the breakup. It's not a thing about blame. It's not being insulting. It's not that. It's being honest and it's being clear. And you've got to be able to listen and validate your partner, because while you have particular feelings, they do too. While there are things that may not have gone right with you, well, guess what? You're not perfect, Patty. And they will have some as well, I'm sure. And so you've got to listen to theirs with some empathy. You have to validate their feelings. You weren't in a relationship by yourself. You weren't. So maintain your respect, maintain some dignity, treat your partner with some kindness. Don't be out here, he did this. Avoid all of that gossip. She did this, that, and the other. No, that's not what we're doing, because we are learning to break up. We are being respectful because we can have respectful breakups. Allow yourself some time and some space. You don't have to be friends immediately. Don't keep calling each other. Don't do that. If you need to take the number out of your phone, take it out of your phone. It's okay. Do that, because breakup is a process and you need to be able to process that breakup. So you don't need to be jumping directly into another relationship, which we know that to be rebound relationships. And you don't have to maintain any type of constant contact with that person unless you have children together. There is no reason for you to maintain any type of constant contact. You don't have to do that. If you have children, well, that's a different dynamic. So there will have to be some type of contact. And then I feel like that is the biggest reason to know how to break up respectfully. Seek support if you need it. Seek some support. If that's your friend, if that's a family member, if that's a therapist, if you need it, get it. Whatever it is that's going to help you get through that challenging time, you get that for yourself. But you need to learn from this. You need to learn from this breakup, and you can use this breakup and what you've learned from it as an opportunity to be better, as an opportunity for personal growth. It's Wellness Wednesday, y'all. Wellness Wednesday on the Noontime Podcast. Noontime My Time. That's what I got for you today, guys. I just want us to be better. I want us to walk into every new day that we can feeling a little bit better, learning something new, having a better mindset, taking a better approach. That's what we do here. Sometimes I will have guests on here for you guys. But with you guys in here in the chat and we have conversation, we've been doing that and I like that. But the idea is that we grow and we can grow together. I'm going to get out of here today, guys. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, a good holiday weekend, whatever it is that you chose to do and how you chose to do that. I've been on the road. I took the show on the road and I've had a great time. I've been able to still talk with you guys and come in here and share. And I'm glad that you guys came in here with me. I appreciate you because you didn't have to do that. But as we wrap up this conversation here today on respectful breakups, I just want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for tuning in. Thank you for those of you who have actively participated here in the chat. Your comments really, they make it a more, makes a conversation more. You guys provide that conversation. The conversation isn't, if there's just me, then that means I'm just talking. So thank you guys. I'm grateful for that. Thank you for your support. Let's continue to support one another. We can learn from our experiences. We learn from the exchange of other people's experiences. We'll emerge stronger from it. We will. So until tomorrow, until the next episode, you know who I am. I am MsTonya, and I am signing out here. I am. Before we go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a little bit of breath work so that we can get back into our day. Some of you just went back to work today. It's a short work week for some of you. Some of you, you're about to wrap your work week up. It's hump day for you. You made it to Wednesday. So let's do this breath work. Let's have a wonderful day. And let's be adults out here. All right? Let's be adults out here. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. And don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. All right? Y'all be great out here. It's what we do. One love, y'all.